Good morning. Happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, May 12th, and I am your morning witch. And today is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, or people in motherhood roles, because it's a special role to have somebody to look up to in that regard. And they all are valid relationships. And so my Mother's Day gift to myself is that my last video, I got a phone call while I was doing it, and then I went back and I watched the end to kind of pick up my thread so I could continue recording, and then I thought, you know what? I think that was a good place to stop. And my Mother's Day gift to myself is I'm going to go ahead and continue the thread so that mentally I don't lose it, and I can continue on the whole trend of what I was talking about, from the aspect of owing no one anything and how it pertains to relationships instead of self. Because once we understand on a self level that not only do we not owe anybody anything, and that everything that we do is a choice we make, we also understand that nobody else owes us anything. For me, it was opposite. I understood that nobody owed me anything, and then I was like, oh, well, I also fucking don't owe them shit then, huh? And I speak that as a mother and a wife, 100%. But understanding that in life, we don't owe anyone anything, and nobody owes us anything, and how that pertains to relationships. A lot of relationship problems come about from the standpoint of somebody feeling like somebody owes them something, but the other person not knowing what to give and what's owed, because the majority of us are not mind readers. And yeah, maybe we can pick up on hints if we're the kind of people who read subtext and are able to pick up on hints. I speak in green language. I was raised by a man that speaks in green language. Green language has many fucking layers and many subtexts, and you can say one sentence that means 8 fucking things. And I can put that behavior on other people who don't speak in green language and, assume things that they're not saying. And people who don't speak in green language, when they hear what I'm saying, they don't necessarily understand all the subtext and all of the everything that goes into it. And yes, I can explain, even though I don't owe an explanation, and maybe I will choose to give an explanation, but that doesn't mean that there will be understanding on the other end. Because a lot of times when we give an explanation of our subtext, we assume that somebody picked up on it and chose not to understand that subtext. They chose to ignore it. But a lot of people don't read the subtext. They don't get the subtext. It's lost on them. Not because they lack intelligence or something like that. It's lost on them because they're not looking for subtext. Therefore, they never heard the subtext. And now when you're upset that they missed the subtext, they're fucking confused, and now you have a problem. So what's the solution to any of this, or what's the point of talking about relationships and how it boils down in not owing anyone anything? And that is, it's communication and choices. So if I choose to do something for somebody and I expect something in return, I must communicate that, because nobody owes me anything. So when I'm doing something for somebody, even if I feel like I owe them that, I don't owe them anything, so they don't owe me anything in return. And if there is some kind of expectation, communication must happen. And that communication has to include understanding on both people's parts. And remember, we talked on Wednesday about not only understanding, but perception as well. Your perception affects your understanding, and your understanding affects your perception. So in communication, we have to be open to understanding that there might be more explanation needed than what we think is necessary, because we're coming from a different place than the other person. And nobody owes us anything, so nobody owes us understanding, nobody owes us an explanation, nobody owes us awareness of what our wants and needs are. And if we want those things fulfilled, we do have to put them out there. And because nobody owes anybody anything, there is no need for judgment on anybody's choice and process through life. Because when you judge another based on what you think they should have done, but you have no knowledge of the experience they were in at the time of the actions, there are things I want to say and things I feel I shouldn't say. But the bottom line is, nobody owes you anything, and a lot of places of judgment and perceptions of wrongdoing come from a place of assumption that somebody owes you something, and they fucking don't. And that goes with the relationships too. So Maybe you had a piece of shit mom, maybe you had a great mom, but like, stop looking at them through the lens in which you live and try to look at them through the lens in which they lived. As an adult, I do that with my parents a lot, and it winds up in me giving them a lot of apologies for things that I perceived as wrongdoings of them when I was a child, when they were just trying to do their fucking best in life. I think that's where I'm going to end on Mother's Day, because it's not Mother's Day, it's my gift to myself. It's still Saturday, and I got shit to do, so I hope it was all understandable. I hope you all have a very blessed Mother's Day, and if you have somebody to share it with or honor, I hope you guys have a wonderful time. And if you don't have anybody to share it with and honor, I hope you find somebody in your life who you can not necessarily regard as a mother, but have a nurturing emotional relationship with.